What's going on, guys? It's YGO Senpai, your resident cheek clapper and homie dapper, and today I am bringing you the plundering and patrolling boys themselves, Plunder Patrolls. I've been really enjoying playing with this deck. I really think that it's an interesting mechanic, the way that it attaches and detaches for summons and things like that. So I really just wanted to bring you guys this as a passion project. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right on into it. So for our main deck, we're going to start with our Plunder Patrolls. We have three of the guy, Whitebeard. Whitebeard is almost everything to this deck. You can send him to the graveyard. He special summons out another Plunder Patrol from the deck, so he's really putting in work. We also have two Redbeard. When he's sent to the graveyard, he attaches himself to the graveyard to a Plunder Patrol monster on the field. The effect that these guys have in common is on your opponent's turn, you can actually go ahead and summon out from your extra deck a Plunder Patrol with the same attribute as your opponent has on their field or in their graveyard. So it can really act as a form of interruption as long as you have the subsequent Plunder Patrol cards in your hand to discard for cost. Speaking of good cards, we are playing three Bluebeard. Bluebeard, really essential in this deck. It's a great extender. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can discard and draw one card, so it can help unbreak hands that way. Really wouldn't cut it down to anything less. This card just goes ham. Another card that I probably wouldn't cut down to any less, we were playing three Golden Hair. Golden Hair, also everything to this deck. I really couldn't think of a better piece of support for this deck aside from the next card. But Golden Hair, her effect, she can special summon herself by sending a Plunder Patrol from your field or hand to the graveyard to special summon yourself out. For the rest of the turn, you can't special summon anything other than plunders, but that's fine because that's kind of the goal. Speaking of broken pieces of support, we were playing three Black Eyes, the Plunder Patrol Sea Guide. Black Eyes, super good. You can target a Plunder Patrol card specifically in your graveyard and special summon himself to the field and add that Plunder Patrol card back to your hand, so he is really nice. Speaking of really nice cards, to help further your game plan, we're going to move on into the Plunder Patrol Spell and Traps. So for our Plunder Patrol Spell and Traps, we are running three Shipyard, the Heart and Soul of the deck. This card is super searchable, so I'm not playing Terraforming to search it. You could definitely, if you want, I could definitely see an argument for that. We are playing one Emblem of the Plunder Patrol, one Plunder Patrol Ship Shape Shipping. These cards work hand in hand, so if you have Ship Shape Shipping in your graveyard, wow, let me fix these. If you have Ship Shape Shipping, say that 10 times fast, in your graveyard, you can go ahead and banish it from your graveyard to add an Emblem of the Plunder Patrol and attach it to a Plunder Patrol that you control, or you can attach a Plunder Patrol monster to a Plunder Patrol monster you already control. So that's really nice. And another busted card for the deck, Plunder Patrol Booty. This card changes attributes to whatever you need on your side of the field, so you definitely want to be searching this if you can. And moving on, we are going to go into the hand traps. A very small hand trap lineup, but really impactful. Playing three Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, super explanatory. It's just about everything. So, yep. And speaking of cards that hit just about everything, the other hand trap I'm playing, Evip, is super good, especially right now when you can use it as a pivot to be able to negate your opponent's spells and traps. Really just a busted card, negate an effect, negate a spell or trap. Just putting in work. Moving on, this deck does kind of have a bit of an issue with consistency and a little bit of an issue with getting interrupted. So what we are running the Adventure Token package, the 3 Right, the 3 Water Enchantress, the Fateful Adventure, the Draco Back, and the Griffin. Really self-explanatory as far as the engine is concerned. Being able to put Draco Back, Griffin, and a token on field, it's actually a lot of pressure, especially right now with Draco Back being able to bounce. Griffin destroying cards when it negates effects, also really good. So I definitely think that this is super necessary. Works really well because you don't really need your Plunder Patrol normal summon effects. They don't have any, so that definitely good synergy. card that works really well with the deck, Foolish Burial. So as I was saying earlier, the Plunder Patrols have a lot of graveyard effects, and just being able to foolish something that you really need, say a Bluebeard for example, to help unbrick your hand or something like that, definitely impactful. And for more protection, we also run one Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave, super self-explanatory, one of the most busted cards in the game. And again, to help to power up this deck, we're running 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More, really great for breaking boards, really good at helping you set up, establish your Plunder Patrol game plan. So definitely want to be running this. Wouldn't cut it. I wouldn't even side it out necessarily, because it could help you in follow-up if your games you're going first. So would not cut it at all. For more plundering and patrolling, let's move on into the extra deck. For the extra deck, I feel is pretty standard. We're running 3 Blackbeard. He's really good because you can, when you special summon him, you can quick effect target a Plunder Patrol card on the field. Most of the time, you'll be targeting it himself. To special summon out another ship with an attribute that your opponent has on their field or in their graveyard. And then you are able to draw 1 card once that effect resolves, so that's really good. The draw 1 is obviously helpful. Speaking of ships that you'll be able to summon, Plunder Patrol List. Patrol Ship List is a monster effect, and monster effect negation, and it also special summons from the back row. You'll notice that a lot of the Plunder Patrols equip themselves or equip other cards. This just allows you to special summon one of your equipped monsters, so that can be really good, especially if you've used a Redbeard. You can summon Redbeard and then go into another card, potentially the next card, Plunder Patrol Ship Mark, which will be in Disruption. You can discard a Plunder Patrol monster or just card in general and be able to banish card on your opponent's side of the field, so that can act as an interruption. Speaking of interruption, you could also summon Brawn. Brawn is really good for interruption. Oh boy, I am way off center. Brawn is really good for interruption because he can pop a face-up spell or trap, so he's good for outing Mystic Mine if you're able to. And that's about it for the ships and the extra deck Plunder Patrol monsters. You can make an argument for cutting all of the ships down to 2, but I personally wouldn't, just for the grind game. For extra cards, we have Adamancipator Risen Dragite. He's really good. He's a spell and trap negate. Works really well because all the monsters are water, so you'll always have fuel for that. One Salaman Great Almirage for your normal summon. And lastly, something that I just kind of put into the deck for myself, I thought it was really cool because I was able to run it, is 1 Bahamut Shark and 1 Totally Awesome. If you're able to put Toad on field and have an extra Omni the Gate, obviously that's a lot of pressure. It's really good. So, yep, that's about it for the extra deck. And onto the side. The side is really teched out for the metagame right now. So a card that I think is just really strong, period, especially for tier, is 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier, just call fusion and call game. I mean, next turn you should be able to follow up in OTK. For those back row decks that may be a bit of a problem, you are running 3 Twin Twisters. This has synergy with the deck, obviously, as you have effects that pop off when it's sent to the graveyard. So really good, being able to potentially plus depending on what you're able to discard. 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Again, it's really good for just outing problematic cards, an adventure token of your opponent's possibly. Speaking of synergy, we are playing 3 copies of Lava Golem. Lava Golem is really good so that you can summon out your fire ship. It's super good for outing boards as well, so being able to out your opponent's board and then summon your fire ship, which will help you OTK because your fire ship has an effect to add 500 to all other fiend monsters on your side of the field. And one last hedge against Tier and Sprite, we are playing 3 Ghost Veil and Haunted Mansion. Just really busted against a lot of the matchups in this meta, so definitely want to be playing that whenever you can. And that is about it for the side deck. There are a couple of changes maybe I would make. Maybe we don't need to be running Twin Twister, you can make an argument that it's just a little too negative and too dependent on what you draw. So you could definitely make an argument for Cosmic Cyclone. Other than that, really, I wouldn't change anything. I think it's just about right. So that is the deck profile, guys. If you have any suggestions for how I could possibly improve it, any suggestions for how I can improve videos or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, comment again, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time. If this video gets to about 5-10 likes, non-ironically, I will be going ahead and dropping a combo video for this, just to kind of show you guys what the deck can do turn 1. And other than that, I will see you guys